There's one play I got to ask you about. Josh gets like a 25-yard head of steam in the second quarter. I think you probably remember the play.
My neck's hurting from it.
Yeah, dude, I was wondering. They just looked at me and no smiles, dapped me up, and they were like, get ready.
Troy would watch film with me. We would go over stuff. I'm sitting there. I still remember I was on the phone and my wife was listening. And Troy was like, obviously we know you had a bad game. And I'm sitting there like, dude, are you serious? You know, and he started off like, you're not good enough. And this is not good enough because if you can play as well as you want. And if you don't win the game, nothing matters.
Right.
Nothing matters. You know, the team's not going to care if you played well. And it was my real introductory of like, I'm not looking at the same angle as he is. And after that, that's when I think the perspective changes for sure.
Welcome to today's show. It is NFL Draft Eve for y'all listening. It's Wednesday night in real time here. I'm starting to get excited about this thing. And I'm not going to take too much time in the open to talk about it. But I am going to tell some draft stories and shoot the shit with Dr. Fax in the C block after our interview. Our interview is going to be Talanoa Hufanga, who is a stud. Started out with the Niners a couple years ago. Denver brings him in. He's a big part of their defense, kind of in the mold of a Troy Polamalu, who happens to be the guy who's worked him out and trained him for a long time. And there are some similarities to their game. It's not that lazy of a comparison. Like, they both fly the fuck around and they both take big chances and they're both knives in the run game. And Hufanga is a lot of fun to watch. And he was really fun to interview. I really enjoyed this dude. Like, what a nice human being. And he doesn't play that way. Nice human being, does not play that way. My kind of guy, you know? So really, really enjoyed talking to Talanoa Hufanga. And after that, we will bring in Dr. Fax, tell a couple draft stories. I know Fax has a couple sleepers and a couple viral videos he wants to bring to the table. He's with his Fax Finds. So stick around for that. I got a question for you Broncos fans. I know maybe I've asked y'all this question before because we've had other Broncos on the show, but as always, I would ask, if you had a luxury suite and you could fill it with 4 Broncos, anytime, all time. Think about personalities. Think about maybe your favorite players. And it's the biggest Broncos game in the history of the Denver Broncos. Who would you invite into that suite? I think Carl Mecklenburg is going to be in that suite for me. I'm a big Carl Mecklenburg fan, dude. Do you guys know Carl Mecklenburg? No, bro. Dust off the Carl Mecklenburg Wikipedia, dude. He was a stud.
The full cage face mask. Love it.
He was a stud. You can play him on grids, too. He's a good grids play. But, yeah, Broncos fans, let us know who would you have in the suite. I'd probably have, like, Brandon Lloyd because I play with him, and he was the most interesting person ever. He had a cat that he used to walk on a leash in the neighborhood. He used to walk around. He used to get like 1,200 yards and make a bunch of acrobatic. Brandon Lloyd was the truth, bro. Broncos fans know what I'm talking about. Niners fans know what I'm talking about. Rams fans know what I'm talking about. Brandon Lloyd, but what you didn't know, walked a cat around the neighborhood in some Ugg boots. He used to wear Ugg boots and walk a cat on a leash around the neighborhood. I might just throw Tim Tebow in there just for the fuck of it. 4th Bronco. Who would the 4th Bronco be? Who would the 4th Bronco be? Lyle Alzado. Another good grids play there. Lyle Alzado, I'd be like, tell me everything about my dad. Tell me all the stories. Anyways, yeah, so enjoy this interview and stick around on the back end for a little draft talk. And we will be back next week early to recap this draft. From tee shots to game-winning goals and buzzer-beating baskets, make every moment unforgettable with BetMGM. BetMGM gives you access to second-chance promos, odds boost tokens, same-game parlays, and so much more. Check back every day for new promos and offers to take advantage of. And if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT and you'll get up to a $1,500 new player offer on your first wager. BetMGM, make it legendary. Talanoa Hufanga, guy that came in the league and made a lot of noise in San Francisco, is now a huge part of that Denver defense. It's so fun to watch. Welcome to the show, dude. How you holding up?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. This altitude is definitely training me right, so I appreciate y'all having me for sure.
Dude, that was like my first question, I swear to you, was how long does it take to get into Denver shape?
Oh, actually, it was one of the reasons why I stayed here this offseason.
Yeah.
I was like, came in, kind of got used to it. Took me about 2.5 weeks, but that 2.5 weeks were rough. And I trained pretty hard. And so when I got here, I was like, man, this altitude ain't no joke. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay here this next offseason. I'm going to train here and get in really good shape as much as I can possibly say. I'll probably still be tired when that fourth quarter hits, but hopefully it helps pay off for sure.
Dude, I remember playing there and somebody took one back to the house in Denver. And, you know, I was like, I'm not celebrating, because we got to go right back out there, dude. Guys were gassed. You know, those plays y'all make on defense can be double tiring.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that happened to me a couple times this year, actually. I think J-Mac, he scored against the Chargers week 18, and I legit was like, dude, I'm going to see you back out here in a couple
I'll see you in 5 seconds.
Yeah, you got that.
Hell yeah, dude. Is Sean Payton's camp pretty tough? I heard it was tough, at least when he was in New Orleans. You know, I heard Shanny takes care of his guys, and there's multiple ways to do it. But like when you got to Denver, how'd you feel about the training camp that Sean puts on?
You know, honestly, it's all perspective. I think that's one thing I learned. There's so many ways, like you said, there's so many ways to do it. You know, Shanahan had a different way. Sean has a different way. And it's just what you're really accustomed to and also what you're willing to put in too. I think it's also depending on position groups. You know, we go 6 days straight sometimes, whatever the NFL allows us to do. And honestly, they've been great. You know, some guys might think it's a little harder. You know, the trenches are a little different. When you got to go contact, 6 days straight, maybe it might be a little bit different versus a guy like me where, I might just be covering in the back end. I might have to go up and wrap up a couple times. It's different. But it's all just kind of, two great programs, two great organizations just figuring it out. And, both of them are successful in their own way. But honestly, like, it wasn't like a true transition because when I came here, like, I remember Bo Nix was like, we're going to go 6 days, but we're also going to be in really good shape. And I was like, all right, well, if that's the case, then let me be a part of it. I don't want to go against the culture. I want to be a part of it for sure. So
no question. I've heard you talk about this team as being extremely tight-knit, and guys hanging out off the field. Mm-hmm. Talk about how important that is to take the social aspect of the team off the field, and also who are the ringleaders in Denver that kind of are the big coordinators, all this stuff.
Well, one thing for me was a little different was, we had DB dinners like every Thursday. Yeah. And I wasn't not saying we just never really did that too much in San Fran. Not that it was a bad thing. It was just, guys, when you're getting out the facility late, some guys are just like, dude, that's my time to rest. That's my time to go home. People have families. But one thing, I remember getting here, like Pastor Tan was like, we're doing this. This is like something that, in a guy, that's when I say a ring, like guy that like a captain, he might not be the most vocal on the field, but when it comes down to like getting guys close, getting guys together, it was always something that, was special for them. And so getting here, I was kind of like, dude, every Thursday, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Like these, I got 2 kids at home. What are we talking about? But then you start realizing like, man, you get so close. And then you start seeing these moments of like, dude, we had some comebacks this year that, are we really supposed to be making this comeback? But this group is just so close. It was pretty special for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like if the team's got a ton of vets in the room, they got kids, they got families, it's harder to get people together off the field. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you do get together, it does make a difference. And then by the end of the season, you're like, yo, what's up with the dinner, dude? Like I need my dinner.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we played the card roulette. So, some guys, it kind of gets a little dicey. When you get in there and your card gets picked a few weeks straight. You're kind of like, hey, do I really show up after?
Yo, that's my favorite, though, the credit card roulette, bro.
Yep.
You guys put them in the hat?
Honestly, I think we just hand it to
the
To my
server.
knowledge, I really don't even look, man. I pass my card down. I'm just like I didn't want to know because if I get my card back, it means I won. It means I didn't
Yeah.
have to pay. Because we actually do instead of the first three, it's the last three, and we'll kind of mix it up. And then one week it might be two. Depends on the spot. If it's more expensive, we'll split it up a little bit more. But usually it's the waitress is usually in charge of picking them, and it's like I was trying to be nice to them all week, all
Yeah.
night. So.
I feel sorry for the guys that get drawn, especially. But D line, we used to we weren't as nice as y'all about splitting it up. It was just like, hey, there's one dude that's paying for this damn dinner, and it's going to be ugly depending on where you go. So,
I know me and Pat, we got split on one in London. We went to a dinner in London, and man, I ain't gonna lie, that bill hurt. And I'm not gonna talk about numbers, but man, let's just say it hurt me because I'm a pretty frugal person. And let's
dude.
say what I spent on a dinner had in my heart kind of like I have to tell my wife when I get home.
Yeah.
And luckily, my wife was really cool about it, and she was chill. So
As a frugal guy, I mean, starting out in San Francisco and San Jose and all that stuff. I don't know where you lived, but that had to be a little tough. It hurt your wallet there.
Dude, it was a shock to know. I went to USC, and I was one of those like, hey, we're gonna stay in like something not so nice. You know, me and my cousin, we split an apartment because my cousin actually played at USC as well, and so we were both just splitting this not so nice apartment. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm in the NFL. Let's go find nothing and find another nice thing, and could not find that. It was all bad apartments, and then finally it was just like, I can't wait to go to Denver. This money goes a long way out here compared to California. That's for sure.
Denver's an awesome place. So I mean, I was kind of wondering like when you thought your breakout game was. Like when you think you kind of arrived, because I know your first year you were playing some special teams, right? And then it like second year it kind of took off for you. Do you pinpoint like a certain moment or a game?
That's tough because like the cocky answer for sure has a game in mind. I would like to say like, I think the best way to look at it is always you're always trying to find that game, and you're always wanting that game to still happen. You want that breakout game to happen in year 9 because that means you could play to year 12. So I would love to say like I hit it already, but man, I'm hoping that I still got a game coming up this next season that like still propels my career in the right way. But there was a lot of learning moments, man. That rookie year was something for me to truly like absorb. Like I played in 24 career college games. And in that first season, we went to the NFC Championship plus preseason games. And so I think we ended up playing, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 22 or 23 games. Yeah. Plus the playoffs. And I'm sitting there like, how do you do this? Like, how do guys do this in the NFL that play long careers? And so for me, it was a real hard learning curve. And so I could definitely tell you there was no game that year that was a jump start to my career. But my second year, I started off hot and had a lot of good support with my coaches, my teammates. And it definitely just propelled my career to have a little bit more confidence for sure.
I remember just my answer in my head was, and maybe I just missed, if you had a breakout game before that, I apologize. But I remember the game in the rain against the Bears. Man, you were balling out there. And it was so funny because I'm watching you play and I'm thinking Troy. And I know I'm not the only person that says that. And then they're giving me the whole background on, well, Troy coached you up and he's been a big part of your life. By the way, Troy, nicest dude, nicest superstar I've ever met, most humble superstar I have ever met. I met him when USC was kicking the shit out of Virginia. He came to watch USC beat up. We were on the sideline, but what a nice guy. Talk to me about, I guess, how differently he sees the game than, say, your average safety. Like, what's so different about his vantage point, and what has he been able to instill in you?
Dude, that's like actually like crazy the way you just like asked that question, because first off, the Chicago game, it was a week 1. For me not playing the year before that much, that was a pretty big game.
Yeah.
And we lost, actually. So it wasn't like a great game, in the aspect of like you could celebrate it. Yeah. And this is kind of just, and I don't think Troy would mind me sharing this, but this is, Troy would watch film with me. We would go over stuff. I'm sitting there. I still remember I was on the phone and my wife was listening. And Troy was like, obviously we know you had a bad game. And I'm sitting there like, Dude, are you serious? Like, I thought I just had, 11, 13 tackles, TFLs, interception.
Yeah.
I know we lost, but, and he started off like, you're not good enough. And this is not good enough because if you could play as well as you want. And if you don't win the game, nothing matters.
Right.
Nothing matters. The team's not going to care if you played well. The team just wants to win games, at the end of the day. And it was my real introductory of like, I'm not looking at the same angle as he is. And after that, that's when I think the perspective changes for sure. And it's so interesting that you said that because that's exactly who Troy is. A humble person, a genuine person, and also a truth. He's going to tell you the truth. And when it's not good enough, it's not good enough. And it definitely pushed me into a good spot into my 6th year, going into my 6th year where I look at things like, that AFC championship last year wasn't good enough. I wasn't on the jugs last year enough, wasn't good enough. And it's just a true testament to who he is and a true testament to the way he looks at things. And for sure, putting that into perspective is pretty cool that you actually brought that up. So,
dude,
yeah.
My dad played, and there were some games where I thought I played real well, and I'd get the text afterwards to kind of bring you back down to earth. And then there's some games where you actually didn't play as bad as you thought. Isn't that the truth?
Most definitely.
The hard part is, I'm not saying NFL coaches aren't great, but like when you have access to somebody like that, a lot of times he's going to know exactly what the truth is. These other position coaches, they were grading everybody's film, and they're trying to get it out by Monday or Tuesday, and they might not be paying as much attention to some of the intricacies of your game.
And it was a big learning curve for me because he would look at the game so microscopic. He'd be like, why did it take you 3 times to see it before you made the play? And I'm like, well, I had to get used to the rhythm of the game, the different things. And he's like, no, like if you have it on the first play and you feel the tendency, shoot your guns.
Take it.
Don't make the play. Don't get blocked. Shed the block. Why did it take you 3 times to see the same play and then you finally make it and then you celebrate after on top of it? And it's all the little things. It's the way he trained me, man, wasn't just to be a football player. I truly believe that, man. This dude looks at life so differently. It's the character that you walk around with. It's the character of your spirituality, of learning how to be a good husband, a good Christian, a good father. And this dude, man, it was very special for me, for sure.
That's big, man, because if life is right off the field, life is easier on the field.
Most definitely.
And I think a lot of guys don't have that mentorship when they're young pros and they think I got to figure it out, but like it's a game. It's even a game off the field. I just think that's super dope. You got him, man, and you can see it. I mean, I mean to compliment you when I say this. You can see it, and I kind of wonder how much of your game is ad lib, where he just said, "Hey, you see it, you feel it, take it." I see you making so many knife type plays in the backfield in the run game, and I wonder how much of it is, off the outside of the playbook, where Vance maybe afterwards like, hey, what were you doing here? Like how much of your game is ad lib and how much of it is in accordance with rules, especially in the run front?
Yeah, honestly, this year was a lot of learning for me. Vance, he has a very well-respected defense, but it is a different one than I was accustomed to. And so coming in, learning was hard, but at the same time, it was so fulfilling. Because as you learn, you keep learning and you keep learning, you start understanding rules. Because at first I remember I was like, what's my run fit? And sometimes it would be in a 5 down and it's not super clear. It's, JFM's going to swim the guard. He's going to make the TFL. Zach Allen's going to push the pocket and, you just might end up making the play. And I was like, you know what? I like it. I'm actually not falling too bad at it. I would get to some games where I would actually end up shooting gaps that I had no idea weren't my gap. But I'd make the play because I just shoot it, and just trust that guys around us, we're going to play. And I think that's a lot of just like, hey, if you feel something, man, go make that play. Yeah. And that's what they ask us to do, and it's not too complicated when you just look at it that way. Definitely was learning for sure.
Well, those guys in the front are also active.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many great players up there. And I know one of them you probably missed this year. And, if any evidence, big fan of Zach Allen's, dude. He's a stud. But like JFM, Zach actually, when a guy leaves and you post about him, like it's a big deal, And Zach had a whole, a damn novel written out about how much he's going to miss JFM. He just seems like one of those glue guys and a guy that everybody in the huddle respects. And maybe he's not a star, but the players know. How big of a loss is JFM, and what kind of dirty work was he engaged in for y'all?
The absolute dirtiest, man. That dude was out there grinding, and he just plays every snap like it's his last, dude. Like, it's I always said this was like some of the best compliments I would look at to give a player is when they play desperate. Man, like Dre Greenlaw was one of my teammates that for the 5 years that I was locker mates with him, but for 5 years that I've got to play with him, he played desperate every snap. And it's like one of the best compliments I could give somebody. And, man, JFM fit that role. Like, regardless of where the ball ended up or where the snap ended up, he's going to be around and he's going to create havoc. And he was going to play it like it was his last. And that was one of those players that I was like, man, he plays desperate. And it was pretty surreal that I got to be teammates with him and get to learn from him for sure.
I like that, playing desperate. I did hear you talk about Dre that way. How fun was it to just make the transition with him? I mean, anytime you get to leave your old team and bring somebody with you or vice versa, it makes things a little bit easier.
Man, I couldn't believe it actually because I think I was a little bit like, I'm talking about, how like free agency is just one of those like, hey, my agent tells me this is what's happening. It wasn't like I don't really ask too many questions. Just tell me where I'm going, or tell me what's going to happen. It was only like a couple hours later where they're like, yeah, like Dre might come too. And I'm sitting there like, huh, this is crazy. This has been my locker mate for 4 years. And I remember when we both got here on signing day, I was like, make sure you put his locker next to mine again. And so we play the whole year together again. And so, man, that dude is just a testament to a warrior, man. Even all the stuff that he's been through, injury-wise and stuff, but he's just willing to go out there and play regardless. And it was truly a fun time to play around him.
I always tell people if he didn't get hurt in that Super Bowl, and I know that like nobody on the team ever likes saying, well, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but that game wasn't going anywhere for Kansas City.
Most definitely, yeah. It was.
He just made a huge difference.
I think it was like the first 3 plays he was in on like every single one of them.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And then it's so heartbreaking to see how he got hurt and everything, but like, super happy to see him wind up in a good spot with you and being back in, getting a chance to go on a deep playoff run again. I thought those playoffs were a lot of fun to watch this year. Obviously didn't end the way y'all wanted it to in the AFC Championship game, but that Buffalo game was a 12-round fight and just some incredible plays. There's one play I got to ask you about, and you guys end up in these situations because you play some man. But Josh gets like a 25-yard head of steam in the second quarter. I think you probably remember the play.
Your neck's hurting from it.
Yeah, dude. I was wondering, how did that feel? Does he feel like a tight end or a running back? Like, what is because how some guys are just like they must have like they're big boned or something, like they're just heavier. They're built solid. Like, did he kind of feel that way?
Man, I would say this. Josh Allen is like, he's like a tight end body that can run a little bit, maybe a little quicker than them sometimes. And it's tough because, man, this dude was in the open field, and I'm sitting there like, what do I do? And I'll just so you know, man, I had to lose some weight this offseason because I felt like I wasn't athletic. I was like 230.
Were you?
I hit 231 this year.
Did you?
And so I had, and that 230 got ran over by Josh Allen real quick.
Hey, bro, I don't see you on the wrong end of too much.
That's what trust me, I feel that way a lot. And when I saw him, I got hit. I remember my neck got bent, and I'm sitting there like, dude, what's going on? This out of all the hits, man, I hit some tight ends this year that I felt. Yeah. I hit some running backs, some good receivers that's pretty big. But man, when I got hit by him, I can't even say I hit him. I got hit by him.
But you got him down.
That's the name of the game. Get another blade of grass. That's all you need.
Hey, live to fight another day. And you got up, like, because I ran it back like 5 times. Like, dude, I know he's fucked up. I know he's feeling this one. The McMillan play was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, people argued about it and everything. Like, sometimes I don't know what the call is, and that's okay. And I thought, hey, you want possession of the football, catch the football if you're Cooks, man. But like, where would you rank that play, and what was your vantage point of that whole thing?
Well, I'd probably rank that as like number one because I think it all leads up to it, right? Like, because you can watch a play and be like, I loved Pat Surtain's pick against Green Bay this year. He dove out. I'm talking about a full layout. Like, that to me is a crazy catch too. So that's up there. Like, him and J-Max play were like right then and there. But the one thing I will say is I'm learning the defense as I came in, OTAs, training camp. It wasn't just J-Mac's play in the playoffs. It's the fact that he was making plays throughout camp that were spectacular. Like, that's a good, like, I don't even know how to say it the right way, but man, he just got real good, like, football skills. Like, balls in the air, he's going to come back down with it. Yeah. And I was seeing that during training camp. And, everybody's arguing in the DB room who got the best hands, who got the best, like, who's a natural catcher. And I can't say nothing because I dropped all my picks this year. And so I'm sitting there like, hey, man, I got the best hands. And he's like, everybody just like immediately shuts that down. Yeah. But then I started really looking at it, and I was like, J-Mac's probably one of the best true natural catchers, a defensive back that I've ever played with in my career. Wow. And watching him, like, dude, you have to have a lot of like concentration on a play like that. And when he came down with it, I'm sitting there like, because I think I blitzed him. I wasn't even close to getting home. And I remember like it was cover zero or something like that. And we're just like, we feel bad. It was like a cover zero pop out. And I'm sitting there like, dude, they're covering because nobody got home.
I remember.
And ball's just up in the air and you just feel like it's like do or die. And he comes down with it. And it really didn't hit until you watch the replay, after the game. Like when you really go see the slow-mos. Because, you're a player. You don't see those until later. And seeing that, I was like, yeah, J-Mac is that guy. And
unbelievable. And then also the fact that, like, hey, listen, I think the Barron kid is going to be really good. And they bring him in, and you're thinking, okay, well, he's going to take, McMillan's spot or whatever. But, like, McMillan's just that good that, like, he's able to kind of stave off and hold his own with his reps and that sort of thing. You guys are just stacked in the slot.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, and it helps the way you guys play. Explain this to a dumb D lineman, but you guys play a lot of three seam.
Yeah. Right. It's a good three match. It's a good changeup, man. We run a lot of stuff that does look a lot similar too. So, it might be cover three seam, but, it could be cover one. It could be a way of running quarters and trying to disguise stuff.
Got it.
But you're not dumb. First off, I know your resume.
We watch a little bit.
You know exactly what's going on back there. So
sometimes I don't, bro. Sometimes some of the things y'all got cooking up, I'm like, I have no idea. Take a guess. It looks like two. Maybe it's, I don't know. But yeah, no, I just think y'all slot guys are just, I mean, the veteran attitude when they draft a guy that could cut into your snaps and you say, hey, like, I'm sure he's a good teammate to the rookie and everything, but I'm also going to hold my own.
Well, I think that's just a testament to all the guys because even, the rotation got split up when Pat went down in the middle of the season, right. And it really showed like, okay, Pat is the best corner I've ever played with. Let's put that out there, hands down. But, with him going down, it's kind of like, okay, you can't really lock down the half side of the field. You kind of have to play a little bit more even. And watching the guys step in, Jade, KD, Riley, and J-Mac, they really just took it and was like, yeah, we're still good because we can all play together. And regardless of when Pat went down or not, like we were still finding ways to win games still, defensively.
Yeah, guys probably take it as a point of pride because Pat's so damn good. Deservedly, people pay a lot of attention to him, but the other dudes are good too, and they want a chance to showcase that. Maybe not in that scenario, but I was going to ask you what the best play you ever saw Pat make was, and I was praying it was that play that you said because I just remember that ended the game.
Yeah.
Like it was just like –
that was the first series of the third quarter, right? I believe
it just swung everything, and it was such an amazing play that you were like, "Holy shit!" Like it just, I froze. He's like a cat, dude. He's like a big cat. Never seen anybody move like that at that size.
Oh no, that was the one thing. I'm sitting there like, okay, I can move, but this dude's like, he's got that like Richard Sherman height in a way at corner, length, but plays man. And on top, what I mean? Like Rich would play a little bit more. Like I know his scheme because I was in it. It was the cover three, the zone. It was zone eyes. But this dude's like, what? I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna lock this guy up, but then also change direction with Jalen Waddle, right? Like I'm gonna go cover this guy, but let's cover him on a slant, a dig, a comeback, and a fade. And then if they throw a post to Christian Watson, who's a fast receiver, I'm gonna undercut it and pick it. And and he did it. Yeah.
I remember when y'all were playing Indy, they were trying to run him all over the field, but he sticks to his guy, man. Like he is like a legit man. It's unbelievable. So talking about the AFC Championship game, I thought you guys played your asses off. Obviously, it's a low-scoring game. It's not a perfect situation. Maybe leading into that game, when did you know Bo was seriously hurt? Like, was it at the end of that game, like, or do you wait for the MRIs to come in and then you find out? And then how does that affect y'all's mindset going into that game against the Patriots?
It was pretty known, like pretty instant that he was already out. Like, it wasn't like I don't know, like when it officially came out, but like I think just as a player, kind of like, dude, when somebody goes down and is like they, not feeling good, you kind of have a sense of urgency of like, okay, Stidham's going to be the guy. And it wasn't really like a lack of like, we're not going to finish this game and we're not going to find a way to the Super Bowl. Like we still had so much confidence in Stiddy that he was going to come out there and ball too. So it wasn't like we watched him go against us all year long as a scout team quarterback. Like this dude could play. And so it was never like a drop off. Not saying like not discrediting Bo in any way. Like they're both great guys. They best friends, him and Sam, all three of them. They're just like in the locker room every day at 7, 8 a.m. Like just doing, always meeting, always hanging out. And so it wasn't like there was a real drop off. And so, defensively, we're going to have to play our game regardless. And so I went out there and had a good time. So came up short, but next year for sure.
It's tough. I mean, if he'd have maybe, not to say you wish Bo got hurt earlier or something, but like if Bo got hurt at the end of the regular season, like that's what happened to us in 17 in Philly. Like Carson got hurt at the end of the season. And so then Nick had time to get in a rhythm. And, obviously throwing Stidham out there the first in a blizzard too, by the way, which if I look at the frame of the all 22 at the beginning of the third quarter and the end of the third quarter, it's like two different weather systems, dude. Like how surprised were you guys by that? Like, did you know that blizzard was coming?
It's funny. We didn't really think it was going to come. I think the weather report that day was like snow was going to come at like 6 p.m. And so like, there was no, like, we didn't think snow was going to come because it, like, was cold early in that morning. And then it, like, kind of got a little warmer. And then it started to get cold. And, it's funny. I never really, like, cared because, like, man, it's not that we just got to play in it. They got to play in it, too. And so it's, like, it goes both ways. But, man, both of my favorite games I've ever played in my life were both snow games. Were two snow games that I've ever played. And one was in playoffs my rookie year in Green Bay. And then this AFC championship in the snow. And, like, both different outcomes. One was a win, one was a loss. But, man, when you just have, like, a true, like, pure moment of, like, joy of being out on a field playing in an NFL game, those are the two moments that come to my head of, like, wow, I can't believe this is what I'm doing. And everybody's sitting there, my family's sitting in the box free, like, like.
Cold as hell.
They're like, damn, this is cold outside. It's warm. And I'm sitting out there like, dude, I'm enjoying it. Like, this is what I signed up for. And this is my favorite moments for sure.
That's why I get bummed out. They're trying to move all games inside and a bunch of domes and stuff. I like football weather, man. I like watching it and playing in it.
Yeah, no, it's it definitely changes your perspective for sure. And it's enjoyable for sure.
What, you just mentioned Waddle a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. How excited are you to see him? I mean, have you guys already met and that sort of thing? And he probably is going to have to. You're going to have to stay pretty honest with him in practice. I mean, that dude's got elite speed.
No, I actually played on the same Army All-American team. We were on the same team coming out of high school, so knew him pretty young, and then kind of just watched his career at Alabama. We were supposed to play each other one year, but COVID hit. And then kind of just seeing his transition. I played against him in 22, actually. And I remember, man, that Miami team was just filled with speed. It was Waddle. It was Tyreek Hill. And I remember I'm a person that, like, I told you I played at 230. So, like, I think that season I had already played at, like, 220, 225. And then for that game alone, I dropped all the way down to 208. Just look, because I was like, I got to run with these guys.
On purpose.
Truly.
Like a boxer.
Like I fasted, was running and just like extra running. And I remember before the game I weighed in, I was 208. And so I had lost like a smooth 15 pounds before the game.
That's crazy.
Just because I was like, these dudes are going to run. They had HN too. Like it was just like Raheem Mostert at the time. And I'm like, yo, football is different. Like these guys are like, and it was kind of with the Shanahan scheme in a way with Mike McDaniel. And I'm like, yeah, all right, we got to come correct when we play these guys. And
dude,
so
when they were cooking, I mean, but y'all won that game, didn't you?
Yeah, it was after they scored on the very first play. It was like a 75-yard touchdown.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to go into this whole thing, but like, if you can knock them down in the flat, that Miami offense and you can take care of that run game, it does simplify things a little bit because it make you real worried about that stuff on the edges.
It was just I just remember seeing routes it was a back and forth game. It was good. We came out on top, but I just remember seeing Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They ran their go routes the same as their comebacks. They ran their goes the same as their curls. Ooh. They ran I'm talking about. I've never seen receivers run that fast and stop on a dime in my life.
There was so much speed on that field.
Oh, it was unreal. And so it was definitely like it's funny how you get these welcome to the league moments, and sometimes you're on top of those moments. But man, I remember that's in my second year, and I'm sitting there I've never seen this before. This is a different type of speed.
So, don't worry. It's not like, as you know now, it's not like that every week.
Yeah.
Do you think, I don't know if you ever saw these old quarterback challenges. They'd have them in Hawaii or whatever, Marino and them, throwing at targets and so you can throw the ball the furthest, like Brett Favre, throwing the ball 70 yards. Do you think Bo Nix would have a chance to throw that football further than any quarterback in the league? And who's close?
Bo can for sure throw it with some of the top, because I remember the first play training OTAs, my first play against him, OTAs. He threw it 5 yards over my head, and I was the deepest player in the field. And I'm sitting there whoa. He's up there. I think Josh Allen's up there. I would say A-Rod back in the day was up there. His Hail Marys at the end of games was that's why I said I don't know. I'm not saying A-Rod was not in his prime, but A-Rod could throw that thing.
He can still play, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, if you forget anybody, it's not personal.
I think Justin Herbert could throw pretty far too.
Herbie, man, yeah.
I don't know though. That's a tough. I don't want to miss people either.
No, you don't. I'll give you one that's easy, maybe a little bit easier. What quarterback has the best eyes at manipulating you guys in the back end?
I played against him for a few years. I would actually say it was Matt Stafford. Stafford was and I would say his arm is actually still up there too. That's actually he
Stafford's
still
nice.
Yeah, but that dude was the no look king. That's we would put that in meetings. That was the top presser every time we played him, no look. And I hated play against him because he would look one way, the dig comes from the backside, he's throwing it, you're breaking the wrong side, you look like a dummy, your coach is on you. But yeah, Stafford and probably Pat Mahomes too. So
yeah,
for sure.
Talking about great quarterbacks and great, obviously Mahomes was injured at the end of the year. You guys found a way to sweep the Chiefs. That had to feel good. You haven't been there dealing with every year gotten to deal with this guy, but it probably felt like a pretty big deal to guys like Bowles and Sutton to sweep that team. And I know you got to do it again this year and play them again this year, but that does mean something.
Well, it did mean something to me too, because we've lost them 3 times straight with San Fran at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
I did feel that kind of hey, I can't stand this team either, in a good way. That's a compliment to the team first and foremost. When you don't like a team, a lot of people didn't like the Patriots at the time, and you won. It's because you're good, and that's a compliment. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but the Chiefs put together some really good teams and some really good championship wins, and so for us, it's how can we minimize that? How can we become merge as a top team in the division? But that's a credit to their team. That's what they put on tape, and for us to get a couple wins this year versus them was pretty special for us, and just got to continue to put it forward for sure.
Yeah, and you guys love playing these low-scoring. I love rock fights, man. When you guys play them, I'm like this. I could watch this all day, but just found a way. Y'all were great in the red zone against those guys, man. But the screen game, I feel like that's one of the main things when you're getting ready for the Chiefs. Yep. Is we got to knock this screen game down. And I wonder, from your perspective, A, what makes it so difficult to play an Andy Reid screen game? And then 2, would you rather have the vantage point of playing in the middle of the field or being up on the line of scrimmage playing these screens?
The screen game is just essentially another way, for an easy 4-yard run game, right? It's how can we get it's another way of getting a second and long to a third and short. And so when you see it from that perspective, it's okay. Well, what do you want to be in? Do you want to be in man? Do you want to put man on man, or do you want to get in zone so everybody can have eyes? Versus a screen. And so being towards the line of scrimmage is nice until you get got. until you take a couple steps upfield, and then, the tackle's running right by you to go block, the nickel. And so for me, I've enjoyed both. I've also got pancaked in both. So I know how that goes. And so honestly, it's just, I think it's based on, I would actually say it's more like call based, what call do you want to be in versus a screen? Like, do you want to be in man? Do you want to be zone eyes? Do you want to be the curl player? I think the nickel, and that's one thing about J-Mac's game, he does really well. Man, he was attacking these screens like it was nothing. And I think it's because he was in, but he could do it out of zone. He could do it out of man. He just has a great feel for it. And but that's also what makes the Chiefs, super consistent about their game, is that their run game is essentially part of the screen game. And it gets to those third and shorts that, man, they got that good, flat calls that they're getting dialed up, and then it turns into flat throwback, turns into touchdowns, but it's because of their screen game sets up really nice. So
yeah, now they got Kenny Walker, and somebody can really attack the edges, and it's going to be tough dealing with him as well. I mean, what with a back, and you're playing from depth, and obviously the angles are different for every guy, but like, who are the guys that are the toughest to kind of angle down on, playing middle of the field safety and playing it from depth? I mean, like, I watched in the playoff game, like, Cook's tough. I mean, their run game's tough, but like, who else are the guys that for you it's tough to find the right angle?
Well, it's funny because you just said like you don't watch ball, but everything you brought up so far, you be watching ball. So,
I do watch football, but my point is, this coverage shit is, when I played, I knew where the damn safety was, but that's about it. I didn't know what was going on behind me. I knew man, zone. Do I get a free rush, or are we in man? So.
I would actually, because that is probably the number one guy that I played this year. I would like to give credit to, man. James Cook was a heck of a runner. That dude he just hits it with so much speed. I don't know. Like, there's some guys that have speed. There's 4.3 guys that they don't run 4.3. That guy just has such like a good contact balance with like a vision and his speed just to hit the hole confidently is pretty up there. But also Kenneth Walker, he's more of like a patient Le'Veon Bell type, but then also when he hits it, he has like a wrestling background, it feels like, because I do jiu-jitsu, man. And so like when I tackled him, this dude was like jumping with his feet on the ground still. And I'm like, dude, I already tackled you, but he's just like a different type of runner. And so those are kind of the top two guys that I've like tackled. There's a different aspect when you bring in the pass game, because, a guy like Christian McCaffrey, out the backfield,
right.
That's a guy that's like, it's very different, And so, and there's a bunch of running backs out there, man. There's Bijan, there's Saquon, there's JK. Like, it's just, there's guys out, I'm not trying to discredit other runners, but there's some guys that you just remember because you got.
No question. No question. And obviously, with James Cook, you also have the quarterback run game to account for, and they do a lot of stuff up front, a lot of gap scheme stuff, make it probably tricky. You mentioned field speed, guys that can really run, and guys that like run on turf, and then is Worthy as fast as anybody? The kid in Kansas City, is his field speed all it's cracked up to be? I know I'm gonna get you bulletin board material where you're like, no, it's not, and then he runs by you.
Yeah, no, he actually is. He's a legit runner because you can see it. I think we played him the first time this year, and man, thank goodness Pat has a strong arm because he overthrew him, which is hard. Because that dude was running a post that he was going to hit the freaking fans if he kept running, and that's how fast he was running. So he is one of those speed guys. It's more of he's, and I'm not. There's not like a bulletin board. That's always the hard part. You start talking about players. This dude can run though, for sure. Let's just put it that way.
Are there guys that have like sneak up on you speed, like long striders that you like? Who's a guy that like you didn't expect him to run the way he ran, and all of a sudden you got to make an adjustment in game?
Dude, that's tough. I don't know. I do have one. And I'm not saying he was slow. I'm not saying that. Like, please don't take this and say this.
You're respectful as hell, dude.
He just like, he shocked me because I played him before, and he actually scored on me my rookie year with Jamar Chase for the Bengals.
Yeah.
It was on a scramble route. Joe Burrow threw him, and he caught it. My rookie year is kind of like, is whatever. Yeah. He was a baller. They went to the Super Bowl that year. But later on, I'm not even lying, like this year we played him. And this dude was running these post corners, and I've never seen a dude run so fast out of his break. Like, I'm talking about out of transition. Like, he was just so fluid. And I remember our corners would come and feel like, oh, like you see, because it goes from Chase to T. Higgins, Chase to T. And I remember just being back there and like cover 2 man trying to help some of these corners. I'm sitting there like, how are we supposed to double this guy? Like, because any way he breaks, it just like wasn't. But they didn't have Joe Burrow that game either. So like it was just kind of like, hey, look.
I'm trying to remember this game now.
That was I believe that was week 4.
Because the great, I don't know if you were. No, you weren't there for the classic that they played a couple years ago. But yeah, no, it's like he's running and he's on a swivel. Like his upper body's on a swivel. Like it's crazy.
There's like different players, there's ground players. There's, guys that can go up and get it. Like a T. Higgins can be a jump ball guy, but he can play ground. But like Jamar Chase is a true, like just he's going to catch the ball on the run. He's like a Brandon Ayuk, a Deebo Samuel. They're going to catch the ball on the run.
Yeah.
And they're not going to hesitate. Man, those are like players that are hard to play against. There's no hesitation in their game. They're going to catch it. They don't care about someone coming across the middle to smack them. They're going to catch the ball, and I'm taking this 60 to the house. And I remember Jamar Chase, man, luckily they didn't throw him the ball that much, but he was running some like clean routes that were speed. And I was like, yeah, I did not think that because I played him 5 years ago. I didn't feel that way at the time. So
he's got everything. Well, yeah. I know we're running out of time, but I just want to ask you one more, man. Like you guys are an elite defense, right? And I know part of being an elite defense and staying that way is your standard, kind of like the Troy thing, has to be higher than everybody else's standard. Yep. What do you guys want to get better at going into this season to take it to the next level?
I think our thing is being consistent. I think, there's consistency in our game, but it wasn't consistency to the standard of like, we need to be consistent on third down. It can't just be like, hey, one game we're going to be, here in sacks and in third downs, and then the next game is going to be a drop off versus a team that probably shouldn't have had a drop off. And so that's kind of like our, I would say just from a safety's perspective, like we need to go in there with the mindset of like, we need to get off the field. We need to make the plays that come to us, and we need to be a consistent defense because, a team like Seattle last year, a team like Houston, where their defense is producing at really high levels, how can we produce at a high level too with a consistency like they did? And so just excited to try to attack that top spot.
I'm excited to see y'all play. I guess my last one would be, and it's a yes or no, does Riley Moss cover his arms so that nobody can see that he's a white boy?
I think that's the running joke in the room for sure. Yeah, that is hilarious though.
I used to do it a little bit early in my career. I used to, hey, why are we wearing sleeves in here, dude? It's fucking hot out.
You are funny, dog. You like.
Hey man, enjoy and stay healthy, man, and can't wait to see you guys play. Thanks for coming on the show. Y'all know I've been on the Create gummies, and you know the positives. I've talked about this. They really help with recovery, strength, cognition, staying active as I get older. And now creatine has a new addition, the creatine electrolytes. You take them together. Gummies are the foundation. Habits, you build the product you trust, create. It's the thing I take every day. And so now you can stack the gummies with the electrolytes. Together, the two products put you about 8 to 10 grams of creatine a day, which is, again, like the magic number for cognition and that sort of thing. If you're only taking 3 to 5 grams, you're kind of leaving some of the benefits on or off the table, however you want to put it. But consistent higher daily dosage has helped me a lot. And the electrolytes to the equation. I think hydration's enormous. So like the way I feel late in the day is going to be dependent upon how hydrated I am, if I got my exercise in, if I've taken my creatine gummies, if I'm sleeping, all that stuff. But on a day where maybe I don't have all those things lined up, creatine and create specifically really does help me kind of get through that occasional tough day. And the research on creatine and sleep deprivation is one of the most interesting things that honestly I've read this year on the topic. And so, draft week, perfect test case. Being prepared and being ready is just as important for you as it is for any of us who have been through the draft process. So make sure you treat your body right with Create gummies and electrolytes. Return of the Fax. Return of the Fax. Once again, welcome back, Doc.
What's good? I missed you guys.
Miss you, man. We're getting a little closer to the draft. The draft is tonight. The draft is tonight for people listening. It is Thursday for y'all. It's Wednesday evening for us. It is draft eve. And Fax and I had totally different experiences when it came to the draft. And I thought it'd be fun to just talk about kind of what we remembered right off the rip here. And I've also got a little Fax Finds set up for you. Fax has brought some stuff to the table for today's C Block. Fax, what do you remember about today, draft day, as a UDFA? Obviously, day one, you're not as perked up.
Yeah. Day one, it was paying attention to other guys that you play with at Virginia for me, seeing if anyone was going to sneak into the first round. And at this time, my parents, they had just bought their house in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So we had a bunch of family over at the house. My mom's cooking. I believe we were frying fish and cooking out, grilling, and I had probably my entire family at my house for those couple of days. And shout out to Ed Wazalewski. He was my agent at the time. Ed was in there.
So this is the 2010 year.
Yeah.
So it was Sammy Bradford, Ndamukong Suh, Gerald McCoy, Trent Williams, Eric Berry, Russell Okung, Joe Hayden, Rolando McClain, CJ Spiller, Tyson Alalu.
Tyson Alualu, who ends up being my teammate in Jacksonville.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Tyson, big high pick that year.
That's right. Defensive tackle. You guys came in together. So, like, I don't know, like, you're the UDFA, Tyson Alualu. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
He's the stud.
No, but first I'm on the Giants. I get picked up UDFA to the Giants first.
Right.
And so in the moment, it was amazing because I'm from New York. I mean, obviously you want to get drafted, and towards the end of the draft, say like the end of the 6th round, heading into the 7th round, you know, on the draft tractors, they show you best available pick. Probably at the end of the 6th round, after 1D tackle left the board, you see my fat little face pop into that slot. And like I just remember everyone in my house just go, there he look, And it was like, it's just funny thinking about it. And it's just like next available, like whatever the chat GPT of that time just figured out the stats or whatever. Like, hey, my name was next up in there. So it was just...
It was Mel Kiper's big board.
Yeah, the big board.
It was Mel Kiper's huge board. Did motherfuckers think that you got drafted when...
Well, it's just, you would have thought I got drafted once everyone in the house watching on different TVs, different levels of the house, because me and my friends were in the basement. My parents are on the middle floor. People are in different rooms, but everyone has the TVs on. So once they had seen that best available in my face in Virginia, like D tackle popped up, everyone's screaming to the point that, yeah, people were like, did he get picked? Did I get picked? Like, what are y'all screaming about? And it's just one of those things where it felt good seeing your name pop up, but then once it's getting towards the end, it's just like, God damn, like, am I gonna get picked? Am I possibly gonna be Mr. Irrelevant? Which I feel like that would be kind of cool, like just for the little bit of marketing aspect that you get with that. I'm like, oh, that might be good. And
you sent this in the group text last night. Number 57, the 57th pick from here on out.
It's getting free ketchup. That's fire. That's fire
57.
Marketing. Shout out to Heinz.
Yeah, Tate Ratledge is like, what the fuck? I was a year too early.
Yeah. I feel like Mr. Irrelevant gets like a car.
Bro, I think they get a trip. I think they get a trip to Disney World. Cause I played with what's his name? He from Rice University. He was a DN. He might have been he might have been the Mr. Irrelevant of my year. We ended up playing together in Chicago, and he would talk about all the perks and like invitations to different stuff that you get every single year for
so
being
2010.
Is it Cheddar?
No, okay, 2011, it was Cheta Ozugwu.
Yes, Cheddar. Oh, Chet. Yo, we played together in Chicago. He was a great situational rush DN guy, really good from Rice University. And he used to talk about being Mr. Irrelevant and how, like, you get small appearances here and there. Like, every year the draft comes around. And I want to say that he said, like, I think he got to take a trip to, I don't want to say it was Disney World, but I feel like it was. But I was just like, that's cool to be that. But
if you sort it by games, guess who's played the most games? You guys aren't going to know this. The most games played by Mr. Irrelevant was Ryan Suckup, the Chiefs kicker. The kicker, he's bounced around a little bit.
I was about to say is Purdy, right? Or Purdy?
Well, Purdy's the most well-known
Mr. Irrelevant
player by far. Mr. Irrelevant. I would say Ryan Suckup's right behind him there. And shout out to my guy David Vobora, who played a long, illustrious career for the Rams and the Seahawks. But like most of these Mr. Irrelevants, they don't get any game time. And you know, I'm looking at this. If you go on Wikipedia, though, it's actually sorted by games. There was a number of guys that actually played a few games in the NFL. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that played over 100 games in the NFL as Mr. Irrelevant.
Wow.
So, anyways,
good
continue.
Luck.
Yeah.
Now, Nate, as you were going through the 7th round, I'm curious whatever you remember about the dialogue or kind of the messaging you were getting from your agent as you're going through there, because I've been on the front office side of it, and you know, that process can start in like the 6th round where like teams, maybe they only have one pick left.
They start going nuts.
Yeah, they start calling agents saying, hey, look, like if you don't get picked, we'd love to have you. We'll guarantee you this much money, like whatever, all those things. And it's kind of funny because sometimes the player will be like, all right, great. Like I'd love to come to this team. Or the other side of it is the player being like, yo, fuck you, pick me in the 7th round then. Like, I don't want to hear this shit. Like, how was the messaging from your agent going? Like, and who else was in play?
So it was funny because we were on the phone with the Jets, the Giants, and I believe it was Cincinnati. And my agent was just like, hey, like, he kept telling me in the 7th round, because I guess he felt like, hey, if you don't get picked, like, he just didn't know how I was going to react and how I was going to feel in the moment. So he kept just being like, hey, if you don't get picked, like, you just got to think about it. He was like, hey, we can work out a deal where you can make just as much as some of these guys that are going to be getting picked in these last 25, 30 picks at the end of this 7th round. And there's no guarantee those guys, he was like, realistically, he's like, from here on out, everyone who gets picked, you got to still make this team. You're still going to have to show up and make a team, and people aren't going to necessarily know who you are and everything about that. And he was just telling me that I'll be able to work with some of these teams. Some of them are known for giving out good deals to undrafted guys and giving you a chance so that if you do make a team, like, you'll have a nice little contract, whatever it may be, try to get you a signing bonus. And I remember us being on the phone with Rex Ryan, and Rex Ryan, I guess, when he was talking to my agent, he was like, put the kid on the phone. And so I get on the phone with Rex Ryan, and Rex Ryan is just like, he's like, what are you worried about? He's like, you're worried about money? He's like, you're an undrafted free agent. He's like, we don't give our guys no more than $2,000. That's it. He goes, I know that sounds crazy, like, but he goes, that's it. That's it. And he's like, you might get some other offers on the table, other places, but he's like, follow the dream. And I just remember Rex Ryan saying that. And then us just being like, hey, we'll let you know. We'll give you a call back. And
follow the money, Rex.
And then the Giants had called and was like, hey, like, we got $15,000 for you. You can stay home. We're right down the street. Like, the Jets were right down the streets also, but it was just like, hey, $15K, like, I would get to play for the team I grew up cheering for. And on top of it, who happened to be at my house, my old college roommate, Clint Centum, who was at the house with me for these couple of days, just cheering me on. He's already on the Giants at the time. So I was just like, when that call came in, I was like, that sounds like a better situation. But in this moment, all these calls are happening overlapping. Like within 30 seconds, my agent has 2 or 3 phones going, picking up, hold here. And at one point, we had told the Giants we'll get right back to them. And then we had told the Jets, like we had got back to them, like we'll get back to them. And once we had made a decision, like, hey, we were going to go with the Giants, there was like a 5 to 7 minute period where no one was picking up the phone. So now it's time. So now it's time to be like, hey, yeah, lock us in. Like, lock us in. We're in. Like, send the fax over. We'll get you a signature, whatever, like that. It's time to do all that. And I'm kind of like, yeah, like let's do it. And so
they're
like
still doing faxes.
Back then, yeah, like are they doing it now? I wonder.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's
Probably
a good question.
Sign Now, like Sign Now, DocuSign, like that wasn't around back then. Because I feel like DocuSign now cleans all that stuff up. But I just remember my heart just starting to like do that. It's funny. It's a new trend. The sax, you hear the saxophones. I was hearing the fucking saxophones during those 3 minutes. Like, damn, like. We're agreeing, like we had just agreed that like I'm gonna take this deal with the Giants, and now they're not picking up. And then it even got to the point where when they weren't picking up, I was like, "Yo, call the Jets back." and then the Jets weren't picking up, and there was like I'm saying that 5 minutes where my heart was just like beating out of my chest, and then. Hit like one of my agent's phone rang. He's like, "Oh, it's the Giants, and he got on the horn with them, and they were like, "You guys ready to go?" And he was like, "Yeah, like we're ready to go." And that was it. And then I didn't have to travel anywhere. I just had to go like about 90 an hour down the road to the facility after those next couple of days. And yeah, and then I lucked up, got to stay with Clint like for a few months and not have to worry about like New York hotels and stuff like that during camp. But that was a good time. That was a crazy time, but it was a good time. But it's one of those things I still think like it definitely would have been cool to get drafted. Like it's one of those things that you think about and you want to happen. But once that day is over, not getting that call when you know you made the team, that's way way better than anything else. Like when you don't get that call to bring in your book and they tell you and like everyone knows like, hey, you don't want to get a call today and you're just looking at your phone just like, yo, is it too late for them to call now? It's already 9 o'clock. Like, will they still be like, yo, like they'll still call people till like 10, 11. And then like when it goes all the way through and you're like, oh shit, like I really made this team. They didn't call me. Like that's a way better. I think that feeling is great.
I remember them asking me about you, the Rams, because we were picking. I just looked at who was picking at the end of the draft. No surprise, us and the Lions. So yeah, it could have been worse. Like you could have been on the damn Rams or the Lions.
Was that wasn't who did y'all get in that pick?
We ended up with a guy named Josh Hull. He was a linebacker from Penn State.
Okay. Yeah.
Super low hairline. His hairline was like down here. It was impeccable. It was incredible. Yeah.
No, it is a great point you make though, Nate, about like it's so much better to not get the call on cut down day, because if you think about like the end of the draft, you think of it like 3 buckets of guys, 6th round, 7th round, UDFAs. Obviously the money's best in terms of the deal for the 6th round guys, but all 3 of those buckets of guys got to make the 53.
Got to make the 53.
Going into training camp, it doesn't really matter where you were picked. Mm-hmm. And so when you get to that point in the draft, it's actually commonly said from the team's perspective where it's like it's almost more advantageous for guys to go undrafted because you can pick your situation.
Pick. Exactly.
The agent can look at depth charts and be like, yo, these guys are thin at D tackle. Like we want to go here. Because it increases your chances. Like you kind of get to pick a little bit.
Yeah, shout out to Ed Wazalewski because that's what he kept putting in my head at the time. Like, hey, like look, like if you don't get picked, like listen, like all those visits we went on and those places, he's like, you don't really fit Like, he's like, you don't fit in a few of these places that maybe might want to pick you up and try to put you at linebacker and do all this shit. Where, like, if you really want to play D tackle, he's like, we got 3 or 4 teams, if we go undrafted, that they already worked you out, and like they're still in contact with me. So he was just letting me know that like we would figure it out, and we ended up figuring it all out. So it did work out. But in the time and your mindset being I was 22, 21, 22 years old, and you're just so gung-ho about like, I want to hear my name called. Like, I want everyone like to hear my name and be like, yo, you got drafted. It's one of those things that are just cloudy in your head at the time because you're so young and like you just want it to happen so bad. But yeah, like at the end of the day, just like we're talking about, making a team and being on a roster, being on a 53, it ends up feeling way better than that whole process once it's said and done.
That feeling when the building empties out. The building gets cut in like half in that meeting room, the team meeting room, the last day or the last week of training camp, like, or at the end when they do cut downs, you walk into the team room and it like hits you. I was never worried about making the team. I'm not bragging, but because it was a higher pick. But some of those years late in my career, I was like, 2018, I was like, damn,
there's never been a top 10 cut in camp, has there? Probably not, right?
Not a top 10 cut. No. We cut a 3rd rounder in training camp, though.
Is that high? Like during?
That's really high, especially the way the wage scale was before. Like, this guy he was out to lunch. But, we fucking, I just, the last day once I make the cut downs is a special feeling, just to see it. Like, this is our football team. And there's a lot. It's almost like there's just more air in the room. Like, you can feel how many fewer people there are in the room. Suddenly you go from 90 people to 53. And you look around and you're like, okay, these are the guys that I'm going to be in this foxhole with for 6-8 months. And so it's a cool feeling. Yeah, for sure. To see guys make the team.
Hell yeah.
Now, draft day question I have for you, Chris. Tonight, as we're watching the draft, the presumptive first overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, will not be walking across the stage. He's watching from his house. I was wondering.
I like that move.
I don't know when guys started doing that the exact year, but I was curious if that was something guys were doing in 08 or around when you were drafted. Is that something you would have considered?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I remember Joe Thomas.
Fishing?
Joe Thomas? Joe Thomas went fishing.
Yeah, I feel like that was the big story back in the day, like when he did that, and they just kept showing him, and they were like, we can't believe it. And I was like, and it's just like, yo, that's cool. Like, if you always go fishing with your dad on this weekend, or if you're not with the hoopla.
Well, back then, I felt like, if it was somebody else, they might have been like, oh, it's a character concern. The guy doesn't want to go to the draft. Like Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, everybody was like, oh, that's endearing. He wants to go fishing. And I thought, I don't know if it would have been a character concern. I don't know if guys had done it, but that was the first one I remember where a guy was just like, hey, fuck this shit. I'm going to do something else. And I found that to be a pretty cool thing to do. And I really wanted to do something else. Like, there's this horse race here in Virginia called Foxfield, and I don't think I've ever seen a horse. We are just in college. You're bent, dude. You're out of your mind. You drink 1 million beers, and you're at a horse race. People are tailgating all day. It's usually hot or raining. There's no in between. It's in April, obviously during the draft. I remember one year I had to hitchhike home. I got a ride home with a guy driving a Budweiser truck. Like it's one of those things that I'm really glad I didn't do this, because the horse race doesn't mean as much to me now, unsurprisingly. But like, I was like, man, I really want to go to the horse race. Like, it wasn't, like this is what I do, bro. I want to hang out with my friends and just do the day drinking thing, because at the end of college, like, you're kind of like, some guys can't wait to get to the pros. I found college football to be a very special thing. It's part of the reason I stayed my senior year. I got a high grade. I got a low first round grade my junior year. A lot of people told me to leave. I wanted to come back because college was really special to me. It was just like, you realize the gravity of like, hey, you're only here with your brothers one time. Of course, things are different now where you're like, you're only here with the guy you just met 6 months ago one time or 4 times with the transfer portal and everything. But it was, and I just remember like floating the idea to my dad, and he was like, nah, it's not a good idea. Dude. You need to go to the draft. But I will tell you though, I see it as an unnecessary risk for a guy going to, New York or wherever it is. Like back in the day, it was Radio City every year. I mean, for me, luckily I didn't slide. But, we all remember famous instances of where guys, namely Aaron Rodgers, slid a very long time. And I think Rodgers is kind of like his archetype. He is who he is. But I do think that experience soured him majorly. Now, it didn't affect the top end quality of his career, but I'm pretty sure he's still wearing that on some level. And some guys who didn't have great careers and slid, and cameras in their faces, sitting at those tables. I mean, it's a fucked up deal. So I am a big proponent of, if you can, spend it with your family and your best friends, because you can only have 8 people at that table. I remember trying to pick the people that I was going to have at that table, and that was really difficult. It's like picking groomsmen.
Yeah, that's brutal.
My wife had a lacrosse game the day of the draft, so she couldn't go. So that opened up a seat. But I had head coach, defensive line coach Mike London. I had my parents, my brother. I don't remember a lot of that day, but the things I do remember were just having the people that you care about in town with you. The funniest thing, and I tell this story a lot, is Nate was one of these guys that we I had like my 15, 20 best friends, and I said, hey, you guys can come up to the draft. I'll pay for hotels or whatever. These guys are staying in Jersey at some like motel. Basically.
We were at like a Motel 6. It was amazing.
It was amazing until they almost burn it down. So they almost burnt the hotel down. Supposedly there was there were flames in the hallway. Oh, neither here nor there. I think we passed the statute of limitations that Motel 6 can sue me or my friends, but
bro, they didn't kick us out. They did not kick us out, bro. That was such a great hotel.
So there was a flame, and there was flames, yeah?
No, there was a big flames that we burned a hole in the rug of this hotel, and and we were so drunk, we all woke up the next morning with those caution walk around, those when it's wet out, with those all outside of our doors, and just us kind of being what we really did fuck this place up last night.
It's and the hangover.
And no one, they didn't call the police. They didn't kick us out. Nothing. None of that.
Jersey, dude.
It was crazy.
It's North Jersey. So these guys are all at the motel and shit. Anyways, the Radio City Music Hall, they have seats at the top of the balcony, over the railing of the balcony, right? So these guys have maximum visibility, and I'm sitting there. The draft maybe starts at 7:30. Let's say it's 5:45. My boys have been drinking the whole time. The night before, we were on a party bus, and my dad made me get off the party bus. He's at midnight, he's go home. Don't fuck this up tonight. Get off the party bus. You need to go. I had to stop the party bus and get off, and they're all having a great time. So next day, draft day, somebody from ESPN comes back there. And they're like, hey, Mr. Long, are those your friends up there? I go, why do you ask? I can't see them. I'm in the back. They go, well, I'm going to need you to reach out to one of them and get them to take the sign down. I said, what does the sign say?
C Long has a big dog.
No way.
Yeah, there were a lot of whites in that group for sure. I'll blame that on the whites.
Yo, man.
But
we were wilding. That was such a great
these guys
weekend.
were out of control. They had to confiscate the sign. They had to put it away.
They had to have been within the camera shot.
Well, no, because they got it out of there before the draft started.
Yeah.
Before coverage started of the draft proper. So That was crazy.
Then Nolan, we only had to stay for 15, 20 minutes. Chris was the number 2 pick. So like after he got picked, like we just went, we all
right
just
back
left,
to the bars.
right back to
Dude,
drinking.
we went to the worst club. But that's the thing about being like
with your
23
friends.
and well, I was 23. But that's the thing about being 31 years old. Like I was Mesidor out there. I was like, I was all of 23. But that's the thing about going to school in a place like Charlottesville and picking a nightclub. Like we don't know anything about it. I don't spend any time in nightclubs. Like we were in the worst nightclub. We had a table. We thought we were hot shit. We were throwing dollar bills over the railing at like nobody, dude. Like, and my rep, Brian Nelson.
Oh man, I have the greatest pictures of Brian from this
is
night.
The night before.
From
dude.
this night, yes, I have the greatest pictures from that party bus the night before with Brian. I've never seen Clint Centum as drunk as he was that night. Kevin Ogletree was on that bus. That
KO.
That was amazing.
The morning of the draft. Here's what I woke up to. The morning of the most important day of my life. Here's what I woke up to at 6 a.m. I'm hammered from the night before. I know I got off the party bus at like midnight, but I had done plenty of damage. We went out to a steakhouse and the whole thing. I wake up to a knock at the door. Sounded like a police knock, honestly. And I'm like, what's wrong, dude? You know the police knocks? Mm-hmm. And so I go to the door, and they're like, Mr. Long. And all I can see is a guy in a suit, and like he's got like an earpiece. And he's like, do you know this guy? And he opens the door a little further, and it's Brian Nelson. And I'm like, and Brian's just kind of, you know what? Brian's not like, he's just like, and it's 6:15 in the morning or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I know him. What do you need, Brian? And he's like, well, we found him sleeping on the bench in the lobby. And he said that he knew you. So, and he shrugged. He was like, you know, so that was the start of the day. It was just a shit show. I remember getting back. We stayed out until I had to leave. And I know I've maybe given differing accounts of this, but I think I had to go
right to St. Louis.
I think I flew commercial to St. Louis because I have this vivid memory of like being drunk on the plane and like waiting for the jet bridge. The jet bridge took way too long. And I was like, oh, this is the big city, like St. Louis. And the jet bridge took like 25 minutes, bro. Like they couldn't figure the jet bridge out. And I'm like struggling, dude. I could barely get my tie tied like for the press conference. But it's a whirlwind, man. It's a whirlwind.
That is incredible.
The night before is when I found out they were going to take me. I talked to Scott Linehan in a bathroom stall.
I was in there too.
Yeah, you were in there with me.
You started rapping Nelly. You could find me in St. Louis. And I was just like, yo. And I was like, did they call? And he's like, yeah. He's like, Dolphins are taking, or was it Dolphins before you?
Dolphins.
Yeah, he was like, Dolphins are taking Jake Long.
My brother.
Yeah, he's
Jake
like,
Long.
he's taking they're taking Jake Long, and he's like, we just got the call, and I was just like, that's fire.
I mean, I'll never forget walking across the stage. Well, I did. I forget walking across the stage. I don't remember that. And if you look at footage of me finding out I got drafted, look at my face. I'm not afraid, but I know what's coming. Like, you're getting drafted to a 1-15 team, and they're expecting you to be like,
you're the guy,
better than you are,
the Messiah.
Yeah,
better than you are, right? If there's anything, I'm a self-aware person. They're expecting you to be better than you are, and so I walk across the stage, and the whole thing, and then afterwards, this is my most vivid memory, is getting on the elevator to go talk to the media, and running into, I don't know if it was Leonard Little and Leroy Glover, but there were a couple Rams reps, like OGs, bro, that would soon become my OGs. And they looked like they were all business, bro. Like I passed them getting off the elevator, and they were just like intimidating old NFL 33-year-old motherfuckers. And they just looked at me and no smiles, dapped me up, and they were like, get ready. And I was like,
Bro.
damn, bro.
Damn.
This shit is
Get ready
this
is
shit-
crazy.
They are not like, there was no like, and maybe I'm paraphrasing, but there was no like, welcome to, you know how dudes are now.
Yeah.
I
for sure.
called the rookie. I welcomed him to the team. I did that. And those guys were great to me. Look at Nate and me. Is that the draft?
No, hell no. But
But that's what you're
like,
looking
that's
at,
early.
really.
it's
No, because I had more hair at the
there it is. This is draft
Holy
night,
shit,
1,000%.
dude. That's B Nelly. Golly, look at that fucking.
I could just imagine that face at your door with police, yo.
Look at that Motorola. Look at that razor in his hand. That Motorola razor.
Oh, the flip
is
phones.
incredible.
I would love.
And look
a
at that
flip phone.
baggy T-shirt. I was wearing LRG, and I had a baggy fucking suit, swimming in that suit. So, yeah, this was a long time ago, man. Long time ago. We had a blast. Anyways, so the draft is tonight. Enjoy that one. I got a feeling the Chiefs are going to move up. I know that's been talked about a little bit, but I think the Chiefs are going to move up.
For whom?
Bane.
Oh, love it.
Bane in a
love
six technique with Spags. And running a bunch of pressures and that sort of thing, moving inside, moving outside.
See, that'll kind of mess up my kind
You got
of
some bets, don't you?
my trolling year, because this year, like, this is little.
It's your
early
cousin.
Early take. It is my cousin, but I was already gonna jump on the Chiefs bandwagon this year coming up, no matter what. So,
Yeah.
The
so
Chiefs?
if Bane it does end up going there, that can help it out. Everyone's I can do it that way, but
Don't telegraph your trolling, bro.
but I
Okay.
do feel like the Chiefs.
This actually confirms. I knew there was a method to your madness. This confirms that you really think this shit out.
He bakes this shit. He bakes it. For
No, but
months, dude.
I do feel like
You've been in the lab this offseason.
the Chiefs ain't gonna have not two in a row.
They'll be back.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
be back.
That's just off of odds. Like me saying that early, just thinking about it. Like, there's no way they're doing that shit again. Like, maybe
They
if
got
we
some
find out
shit to
Patrick,
figure out.
Yeah, if Patrick's gonna be hurt more than 4 games, maybe. Because when's he coming back? Is he gonna be ready for the start of the season?
They say opener, but dude, I feel like the Chiefs. To your point, I think the Chiefs are going to be back. I think their offense is going to be kind of scary.
Yeah.
Their young guys up front are getting better. God willing, Josh Simmons plays 17 games. You add Kenny Walker to the mix. I just feel, and it feels like to me, reading the tea leaves, Andy Reid is in an introspective mood. Andy Reid is like, what happened? Let me take a beat and let me figure this out. And like, to your point, when you get punched in the mouth as somebody who, like them, who just is not used to it, they're going to have their best offseason. They also have a month and a half more of offseason than they customarily have.
Yeah.
That is something that
never-
it's simple math. Productivity wise, they're going to be able to get a lot out of this offseason. So, anyways, I look forward to the top 10. The question Noel was asking coming in was, hey, maybe you should talk about who you think out of the top 10 teams are going to be this year's like Jags. On topic, we got Fax here. I don't think it's a hot take, but I'm really excited to see this year's Titans football team play.
Tight. Oh, yeah.
It's not a hot take.
Yeah. Campbell,
But-
man.
This is going to be a little trendy, but I think the Titans are going to be fun to watch, man. And the other thing I'm really excited about is seeing where Love ends up. It's just one of those drafts where I had this discussion with Macon. We were texting about this the other night about the Giants pick, and he was sending me this Ben Solak thing about Ben Solak talking about market value and how when you draft a running back in the top 10, you pay him like the 7th highest paid running back, as opposed to other position groups that are more premium, quote unquote. You're paying a discount for that player. If he turns out to be on his first contract like a premier player, you're paying a lot less, relatively speaking, for a defensive end or a corner or one of these premier positions. There is something that I would call the certainty quotient. You know what I mean by that? In a draft like this, if there's a bunch of question marks, sure, you could play money ball or you could pick the best player. And I'm a proponent of picking the best players, so I'm really interested to see who picks this Love kid out of Notre Dame, because he just seems like if you're looking at sure things in the top 10, this one, and it's trended that way lately. I don't feel like teams have taken a bunch of running backs high that have not been great players. Like if teams take a running back high, generally that player's as advertised. Yeah. Whether it translates to wins or not, that's the question. So I'm really interested in this draft. I'm getting more interested as it nears. Fax. We got some Fax Finds.
Fax Finds. What do we want to head into first? We want to talk still like
let's do. We're on the draft. Why don't you start with the draft? You've been looking at some of these prospects and
yeah, I got a couple of sleepers. I mean, I feel like I can't fully compare this kid to me, but just his comp, 6'2", 291, the kid Caleb Proctor, fastest DT ever at the combine. That's the only reason why
I say sound like you.
It doesn't sound like me. I was fast, but like not the fastest DT ever. And I just feel like for the combines nowadays, to have that label of fastest anything in any category, like yeah. I feel like that's that's
what did he run?
What did he run?
I'm seeing a 4.79 for the 40 out of
Southwest. Is it Southeast Louisiana?
Yep, Southeast Louisiana, 6'2", 291. That's like right around what that's what I ran. I feel like at our combine here at and I ran about like a 4.95, almost like 5 flat. Another guy we have is Jordan Hudson, SMU wide receiver.
Jordan Hudson.
Yeah, he's super athletic.
Oh, when you Google Jordan Hudson, something else comes up.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
It does. And because of that reason, the Patriots might have to draft him just out of spite.
Just for the clickbait?
Just for the bait, man. You know, like they're already in the news for clickbaity stuff right now, if you really think about it. So
well, yeah, that's what people kind of forgot about the Jordan Hudson thing.
Yeah.
Jordan Hudson, wide receiver.
And then did anyone know that Trey Lance has a brother who runs a 4.35 wide receiver from North Dakota State University?
No, he's either a Green Bay Packer or a Dolphin.
Or a Dolphin, either or.
Because he's 6'3", 210. It's the second crack at
Christian Watson.
Name? Yeah, Christian Watson. It's the second crack at Christian Watson. And shit, the GM from Miami might say, hey, well, I think Christian Watson was close. Like, let me give it one more try. Big bodied, fast dude. I heard about this guy, obviously, because he's Trey Lance's brother, but,
and then another Fax find I had is Utah in college has a 5'11", 320-pound tight end.
No.
Yes.
Where?
5'11", 320 pounds, and bro, he has wiggle, bro. He has wiggle. Look.
Stop it.
Look. Dude.
All right. Let me see this motherfucker.
Bro, he's giving Kyle Juszczyk vibes.
Dog.
He's just a real D tackle.
Very aptly named Semi.
I don't think that can't be his real name.
Semi Talanoa.
There's no way his name is Semi. Not in real life. There's got to be like a nickname.
Oh, man.
Hold on a second.
Oh, man. I wonder if that's just like, he's probably Polynesian, right? That's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's just like a common name.
No, I think he might be Irish.
I didn't think he was Irish, but I just wonder if Simi is like a Polynesian name, like a common name. But that's fire. I'm about to find out.
I'm about to find out. I'm about to see if this is really his name.
Bro, 320 pounds at 5'11" is crazy.
Dude, that guy's incredible. What a story. Semi Talaluga. I'm as interested in that dude as remember that guy for Colorado State that was a sumo wrestler
Yes.
that we wanted to get on the show and we
Yeah.
just never did. But Semi
wonder how he's doing.
Talaluga. Yeah, I wonder what that guy's doing. He's probably sumo wrestling.
Probably sumo wrestling. Oh man, and then obviously we gotta make fun of the rivals just a little bit. I know you've seen the Virginia Tech skydiver. I know you've seen it
I did see it.
at the their spring game.
I did see it.
Nolan, I don't know
What
if
was
you've
your
seen
first
it.
thought? What was
saw
your
it.
first thought, Nate?
Hopefully, it's indicative to the type of season they're gonna have this year. It's just
Yeah, my
starting
first
off
thought was hopefully he's okay, and then
that.
and then after that, I was like, hope their season is terrible,
Oh my god, bro!
dude.
Can
look
you?
at this.
But yo, first off, this is this guy's fault. Like I feel like the protocols for this, like there's probably a lot of protocols, but the main protocol for this is Mother Nature. And it was windy as hell that day. It was windy. Like it was windy.
I remember it was
And
windy up here.
that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, yo, they're not that far from us. And I'm not saying just because it's windy here, it's windy there. But it was like really
Where do you
windy.
think the wind comes from? Southwest wind.
No,
Where do
I
think it
hear
comes
you,
from?
but I was like,
Comes
I don't
from
know if it's
Blacksburg.
necessarily the same
Same
like
wind, dude.
I guess so.
All right, I got you. Here it is. Viral
And-
skydiver breaks silence.
There was three of them. There was
Silence.
There was three of them, and supposedly only one skydiver landed in the right place that was supposed to.
Look at this dude. Military veteran and motivational speaker who crashed in the Lane Stadium scoreboard during Virginia Tech's football game shared details of the incident. Pasha Palanker, who identified himself as a skydiver in a Monday social media post, said unpredicted wind shears of up to 27 knots, nearly double his team's 14-knot safety limit, caused him to crash, dude. The impact knocked the air out of me. For a second, nothing, no sound, no breath, just me hanging from the Jumbotron. The crash broke off portions of the C and H letters in tech. I will say, it kind of looks like he didn't hit that hard, but he hit hard as shit.
Bro,
he
he
said,
absolutely hit hard.
he said he got the wind knocked out of him.
Bro,
Like,
and then
if you guys have had,
broke his ribs.
You've had the
Imagine
wind
having
knocked out of you, like that is very, very uncomfortable. And then you're suspended.
You're
from a-
dangling. You're dangling. Bro, I could not imagine like heaving for air and just dangling, just being like, this rope is gonna break at any second. And then
Anytime.
I'm gonna fall again another however many feet from the air.
I'm just thinking to myself, I hope I land on some big tech fan, dude.
right. And then
Break my fall.
And then
Some
once
big
you
old
get your
tech fan.
then once you get your win back while you're hanging up there, bro, that has to be fucking embarrassing as shit, bro. They like the whole game, entire spring game delayed an hour because everyone's looking and worried about.
Did it get delayed?
Yes, they couldn't start it until they got him down.
No, I wouldn't be because
Move the
you
drill.
can't make fun of the military, so you're good, bro. Like people, they cut you down, and everybody's like, "Great job, fantastic."
Hell no. Oh,
What are you gonna
man.
do? Make fun of a veteran, bro?
Bro, people who are already drunk, they want the game to get started. Like, you know how that goes, bro. You know how that goes. It's like, you might not mean to be a dick, but it's just like, we're waiting for him. Like,
I'm
get
all
him
for
out of here.
supporting the motherfucking troops, but we gotta get this spring game going.
We got to
Cut
get
that
this
line.
game. We want to see James Franklin coach. This is the first
Cut that
opportunity
line.
to see their new coach. Also, this happens.
I hope it goes just that way for them this year,
I do too.
respectfully.
Respectfully. And then
You
the
interpret that as a bad omen for the start of the Franklin era.
Definitely a
Dude.
bad omen, man.
last Fax Finds. This is for you, Chris. Famed Spanish matador suffers humiliating injury in bullfighting blunder. He got hit right in the anus, Chris.
It went in his butthole.
Oh my God.
Ruptured his anus. He
Holy
didn't.
shit,
The
dude!
bull. Hey,
You said he's famous.
Yes, he does this. He does. Oh, look at that picture.
Is there blood on his hands?
Oh man,
That's what I'm worried the bidet is gonna do to me, bro. Nate, I got a bidet.
did you?
Yeah, my wife got it, but I don't use it.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
That shit feel
We
good.
talked about this the other day. I don't do it. I don't use it. No.
no.
But this guy, I would suggest a bidet for him.
Yeah, it's probably going to be hard to wipe with toilet paper for a little while.
He's gonna have the Edward Norton thing going on where he's gonna lay on his stomach. Remember in the movie where Edward Norton was a terrible person? He was a Nazi.
Yo.
Do you remember that movie? American History X.
Oh yeah.
Have you not seen that movie? Nolan, have you seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Well, let's just say he went to prison and he got gored. And so what they do in prison when you get gored is you got to lay on your stomach for a while.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure this fucking matador is like this.
Yo,
3 weeks.
and they said it only took 4 inches of the horn to sever the rectum.
Yeah, dude.
That's interesting
the tip
fact,
will do.
right?
The tip will do. It only took 4 inches.
Oh my god!
I, for one, am shocked.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine they got to cut that flamboyant fucking get up off you, like, because they can't. They gotta take scissors to the side of it because they can't really roll your pants down.
No,
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine just having like just a bleeding asshole.
A ruptured anus.
Yo,
Nor could I.
But also just being famous and doing that probably like hundreds and maybe thousands of times, like standing in front of this bull and moving and being like, haha, like look at me, and he finally gets you.
Spain's greatest. So this is. Oh, you're burying the lead.
Yeah.
Spain's greatest matador. Gored by bull and comeback
Look
from
at that.
retirement.
This guy's the
Jose
goat.
Antonio Morante de la Puebla.
It's no fun when the rabbit has the gun.
Hold on. Jose Antonio Morante de la Puebla. He made a comeback. So this is like if Jordan came back.
This is like Red Panda. This is like Red Panda. Right?
It's their red panda, dude. If she fell on the trike, dude.
She's fallen,
No,
but
if
she's
she
got.
fell on the trike the wrong way, like that's what it would be like.
Yeah.
You know
Look at the way
how
they're carrying him off, dude.
That is
They got
brutal.
4 dudes carrying him off. Obviously, they're not holding him. 45-year-old matador suffered various serious wounds.
They better get him a Depends deal or something. Got to turn this positive.
The horn
Matador.
perforating his rectum. Perforating. That sounds worse.
God.
That sounds so bad. So much
2
worse.
hours of surgery.
What does it say on the injury report for this guy? Name.
Well, that's it. I think he's
parentheses, what?
definitely red letters.
Bro, I know for a fact animals talk to other animals, and that bull probably went back to the stable like, guys, I got that motherfucker today.
Yeah.
I finally got him. And all the other bulls is like, bullshit, bro. He's the greatest. He's like,
the
not
goat."
today. Not
Got him
today.
good.
Oh my God, bro. I know that shit hurt so bad, bro.
He's like, man, it went right in.
Right in.
Right
No
in.
way, bro.
I promise it went right in.
Bro, that is unbelievable.
Oh man, just
Damn,
go
they
to the
have him hooked up
hospital.
to the
Just
oxygen,
imagine,
bro. Why you got him hooked up to the oxygen, bro? You don't breathe with your butthole, bro. Stop being so dramatic.
I think I would need oxygen if I got a bullhorn in my ass, bro.
I need a
think I would need
cigarette.
some. I would need some oxygen.
I would need a cigarette.
I feel like that knocks the wind out of you too.
Smoke
Like
the
I don't
whole
give a
pack.
fuck. Oh man, speaking of cigarettes too, did you see that in UK? If you're born after 2009, you could never buy cigarettes again.
You know, I have mixed feelings on this.
You like this,
because
don't you?
on one hand, I really don't mind it. But on the other hand, I was born in 1985.
Yeah, so it doesn't